It summed up a less than 4 a week ago. Since now, wins a call as far as the subs bench, and more importantly, Graham Steadman, the playmaker, returns after missing 2.5 games through injury. Sheffield to the 13 who gave Widnes quite a fright before going down 18-13, but there's recall for Keith Mumby on the bench. It's a chance to impress for youngsters like Richard Pixley, fresh from his first try of the season last week. Well, later we'll see the other contenders to be Yorkshire's top dog, Hull at Oldham. There's the end of an era at a famous Yorkshire ground, our competition result.
As Graham Steadman kicks off for Castleford. It's only a few weeks ago, of course, that we were covering Castleford in victory at Sheffield Eagles at the Don Valley Stadium. And David, it really has been a pleasure covering Sheffield Eagles in the First Division. Such a shame they're on their way down.
Well, it is. They've always given a good account of themselves. They play good football, and it's rather unfortunate, but they have done the First Division proud.
And here's Hugh Waddell, who's done the First Division proud over a few seasons. Missed out Farrell and gave it to Paul Broadbent, who's actually a Castleford lad, lives not far away from the ground here. And the first decision of the afternoon is given by referee Robin Whitfield from Widnes, and then somebody said something to him, and that's not advisable. So he moves them on a few yards, and Sheffield have a penalty, and Mark Aston is going to have a pot at goal. It's straight and it's long, and Mark Aston seeking to put the first points of the day on the board. That he does. A great start for Mark Aston and Sheffield Eagles. Spun out long, Anderson coming onto it, but important tackle made by Anthony Farrell. 10 minutes gone without a try. 2 points on the board for Sheffield. There's Nelson. Spun round in Anderson's tackle. Maiko from fullback. Oh, Powell did superbly well there. I'm not quite sure how he found that gap, but he did it supremely well. And now he kicks, and it's Sonny Nicol who's leading the charge forward to try and get there. French, I think, headed the ball behind. What an exciting phase of play that was, though, and Gary French really did well to get back there, because Nicol has got the longer legs by far. I think French actually headed that ball out.
Well, this is a bit of class in this, because when this break is made by Darryl Powell here, I mean, he throws the dummy scissors. The man England had gone up to take Sonny Nicol in the first place, but of course it's Darryl Powell now coming down. But this is the good sense here. He knows he can't get the pass in, but sought to put the ball along the floor. It's dry, it's hard, it bounces around, and look, French knocked it dead, stopping Sonny Nicol getting the touchdown.
And summer is approaching. Isn't it nice to see the crowd in their shirt sleeves and shielding their eyes? Castleford win the ball. Anderson, he's got good pace as Grant Anderson, and he stretches away. Fine tackle made on him by Maiko. But now Fletcher, the opposite number one, is in the thick of things. Mick Cook has just left the field. Sheffield haven't yet replaced him. But Keith Mumby will be on before long. The first thing he might have to do is to defend here against Cass as Crooks tries to reverse it. And it was knocked back, so that's all right, and it gives Hardy the chance to run forward again against his old team. French, got to be a longer ball. Crooks slips it beautifully for Steadman, who keeps on going, and they're firing it through the hands. Kevin Beardmore, Roebuck, the longer ball taken here. It's got to be a score for Castleford. In the corner goes John Ray. What a delightful Castleford try. That is vintage Cass. Super stuff, really. It went right through the hands of the three-quarters, and John Ray gets the first.
Well, this is a super try. They really moved the ball up well. It's French again, trumped him at the front. It's a perfect pass by Lee Crooks. Inside, Steadman coming inside, nearly knocked off Fallon. But this is where it really starts, because everybody is now in the right position. A long pass out, but it's superb timing and giving of the pass here. Allows Ray enough room to get over in the corner.
And he finished it nicely, the former Morley rugby union man. Steadman from the far touch puts it high and not straight enough, I'm afraid. Not for Castleford's benefit, but they have the lead for the first time.
Well, to look for here really is really good passing and good backing up. But this is Castleford at its best, because it's fast, positive running that really creates the room on the outside for John Ray to go over. Just look at the timing of the passes.
Well, we're back in the action now. The news of Mick Cook from the Sheffield dressing room is that he's gone off with quite a nasty cut above the eye, but he is being stitched up just at the moment, and Sheffield aren't sure whether to bring on a substitute or not. They were hoping to bring Mick Cook straight back onto the field with those stitches, but I talk to you now, the decision's been made that that's too dangerous, and in fact Keith Mumby is going to come onto the action very shortly.
As Powell brings in Richard Price. From Aston it goes to Powell again. He's already made one carving run through the middle, and now Maiko does exactly the same, and they know, oh dear, and then he gave the ball away. Well, Maiko has done that twice now. I was going to say Castleford know all about him, David. He scored an excellent try against them on their own ground this season.
Well, I've always said fullback is a prime position to attack, and he certainly makes the most of that by coming into the line most of the time.
There's been some confusion on the Sheffield bench as to whether to bring Mick Cook on. He's now had the stitches inserted, and so he is back. And easily recognisable. Aston halfway through the first half. Nicol comes onto it, as we've seen him do so often. Oh, he's a great runner, isn't he? He really is. Nicol always looks as though he can go all the way to the line. But Aston thinks of a different way in. Oh, he confused everybody, but Nick Grimaldi still just held on. It's the last tackle. They might think of a drop goal, I suppose. Aston, he's right in front of the sticks. The little kick through, however, it's going to catch them, is it? No. David Plange there. Intelligent kick, though. It
was an intelligent kick, and it must be said it was intelligent player David Plange there to come around from there to pick up that ball. Watch Nicol now, he comes off this pass here, but he really does run well, doesn't he? He uses his strength and his pace, and he pushes people off by going on the outside of them, making the most of them to push them away. He's pulled down here, but up he gets straight away again, and it's his strength here that holds him up. It takes 2 or 3 Castleford defenders to finally bring him down.
Both sides look very threatening in attack, and it's Castleford's turn with Lee Crooks, and he might get there. He's halted no more than 8 yards out. In full flight, French going alone. Gary French wrestling his way to within a couple of yards of the Sheffield line. He nearly scampered all the way. Still, it's Roebuck. Oh, and he kicked the ball, and it went into Sheffield hands, but Darryl Powell in an offside position, I fancy. Penalty given.
Well, what exciting stuff that, because of course Sheffield had put the defence under a lot of pressure. But here they are again. They really are moving out. French dummies to go on the outside, comes back inside here. Look, it's only an ankle tap really, and then the final tackle that really stopped him going across the line.
And more problems for Sheffield here. Lee Crooks can take Castleford into a 6-2 lead here. And he does extend their superior margin. So Lee Crooks popping it over simply enough. Graham Steadman is all right to continue, but Sheffield have lost Paul Broadbent. There he is, Paul Broadbent, and from the look of that, you can't imagine that he would come back on. Keith Mumby is on for Sheffield. Great catch by Stedman, proving he's all right. Oh, and Dean Sampson has broken the ranks this time. Superb running from Sampson. Gets to halfway, the crowd enjoyed that. He's a very popular lad here. He's a non-stop runner. Roebuck having to fire it back for Keith England. Stedman this time, using his man Plange in support. Still only the one try scored in the match by John Ray. Castleford looking very threatening now with beefy England. On the right, Crooks. He comes left and switches it for Hardy. I think Hardy's determined to get a score against his old side today. He looks to be in that mood. Again, Crooks will be here, and he'll chip it ahead, and there are chances once more if it sits up nicely for Ray. He couldn't just get the decisive touch. But it will be a drop out under the sticks. It's astonishing we've had only the one score. There's been so much inventive rugby.
Yes, they have, but that says as well that the two defences are not giving in easily, and a result of which we haven't had the tries that one would expect. It's this kick ahead now. It's a delicate kick again, and it bounces here. Now they allow it to bounce around here, and Ray nearly swoops in to get the try, but it was pushed away.
More bad news for Sheffield is that Paul Broadbent has torn knee ligaments. He won't be coming back. Darryl Powell reverses it. Oh, excellent play here. Wonderful running from Andy Young. We've seen him in good form for Sheffield in recent weeks, whether in the centre or the second row. And again, Powell is the danger man as he tries to straighten up through the middle. He does so well. It took Price by surprise, I think, when he flipped it back there. But that's 2 or 3 times now Powell's done that.
Yes, he does. He's a very good footballer, is Darryl Powell, and he sits up and notices. He tried to get that away then to keep the movement going. Unfortunately, it went to ground. His reactions were a little quicker than the man backing him up. Just watch it again here, because he runs across, he sees what the defence is doing, then decides to come straight. And it's that coming straight, really, that pushes the defence off. They aren't quite ready for that. He comes through, look, he lays it off backwards. Price wasn't really looking high off the ball. Castleford retained possession.
This will be French. And Crooks, moving it out this time for Stedman, back in field. Oh, but it's going to be picked up by Andy Young. And now Nelson. And we know he's an exciting runner, and he's got past Fletcher, and Nelson goes back to the 25 to Nicol, and they're really keeping it moving, and Sheffield should get a try here. Are they in? He stretches, but I think he might have stretched just a foot short of the line. Well, really unfortunate, and they're forced back now. Pixley was the man who thought he'd stretched out far enough and hadn't. Looked as though Nicol himself might have scored there. Mark Aston, back it comes for Mick Cook. They might not stop him. Yes, they have. They really have tried everything without crossing that line. Now the reverse ball, and this time he's in. It's the first Sheffield try of the afternoon. Andy Young is the scorer of it. 6 for him now this season, and it's come at a great time for the Eagles just before half-time. Sheffield's fans supporting their team as they come back. The traditional ovation for the try scorer Andy Young. And Mark Aston can take Sheffield in front now. That he does at 8-6.
Well, relegated, yes, but their confidence is sky high, as they do show when they throw the ball back inside. A superbly timed pass to Andrew Young, and he puts him over near enough for the goal to be tagged on. Just watch this coming out here now. Mark Aston, look at this pass. Superb, but the confidence of the team, isn't it? Backing up, Andrew Young takes it over, clashes out of a tackle, under the post.
Promises to be an excellent second half as well. Once more they're moving it for Sonny Nicol. Off he goes again. He's got to halfway and he's found Powell. Now there could even be another score here for Sheffield. They still keep it moving. Now it's Nelson up on the edge of the 25. Well, champagne rugby from Sheffield. They do love flowing this ball around. Aston with it. Nicol couldn't hold it that time. And the whistle has sounded. But again, it went through about 8 pairs of hands.
Well, champagne rugby is right, because it's straight running all the time at the heart of the defence, and it really is making the defence look ragged of Castleford at times. Just watch again now. It's a long pass out, but this fella Ark Aston, a playmaker supreme, puts it out again. Sonny Nicol has done most of the running really on the outside, and sees how well he can do it. But it's the support coming back inside again. Darrell Powell here. It's the pass that goes away from this one of Richard Price's. But doesn't it keep things going? It really does, and looks good.
St John Ellis has just come on for Castleford. I think that might be a tactical substitution. The player off is Sean Irwin. I think he's well set up for the second half here. You wouldn't want to put your money on either side at the moment.
You certainly wouldn't. They've come here this afternoon with bags of confidence, and they're playing. They've been unfortunate in some games to have lost matches, but they certainly can play rugby football, and against Cass, giving Cass a few headaches this afternoon.
That might have given Andy Young a headache. He lost the ball, and that's the hooter. Half-time then at Wheldon Road. An attractive game here between two sides, as always, willing to throw the ball around. And it really is all to play for in this second half, with both sides having scored just the one try. Castleford getting the first of them from John Ray to add to a Lee Crooks penalty, and Sheffield Eagles, Andy Young was their try scorer, and 2 goals from Mark Aston. Half-time is Castleford 6, Sheffield Eagles 8. And we'll be back with the second half after the break. Welcome back to Wheldon Road, where it's Castleford 6, Sheffield Eagles 8. We're all poised for the second half. Well, regular viewers will know on Scrum Down we like to talk to somebody during the half-time interval. So let's go down to Nick Powell and see who's with him this week.
Well, thank you, John. We normally tend to talk to coaches at this particular point in the programme, but for the last one of the series, we talked to somebody who does the real work behind the scenes. This is Denise Cackett, one of the growing band of women in charge of various aspects of rugby league. What do you do during the first half of a match?
Well, we keep busy in the office. We very rarely see the first half of the game with programmes, gate receipts, things like that. Obviously, when we're away from home, it's an advantage to my side of it. I see all the game.
So when you come out for the second half at home, do the team do better?
Unfortunately not. I usually get booed out of the stand. Usually opposition scores as soon as I sit down, so I'm not right welcome.
Now, of course, the end of the season is with us, and things are winding down on the playing front, but presumably you don't go off and lie on the beach all summer.
No, unfortunately not. It'd be nice if I could, but people think the 2 or 3 months that we're not playing rugby, that there's nothing to do, but I can assure you it's quite as busy out of season than it is in season.
All right, we'll look forward to you being ready for next season. Thanks very much indeed. The second half underway, of course. Castleford in possession, and here's John.
Well, I can't imagine anybody booing Denise, and Castleford's fans will be cheering if they get a try right at the start of the half. They looked very promising there. Poor old Denise was just about deafened by the hooter there as we started our interview. But Castleford coming now to within 15 yards of Sheffield's line, promised to give us a rip-roaring start to the second half. French wasn't an easy ball, but Stedman took it, and Fletcher working a run around with him. Now Grant Anderson, who's found his way through defences a few times over the years. Plange, as we know, enjoys scoring tries, particularly at this end of the ground. Lee Crooks to drive it in and slip the ball to Keith England. Last tackle. And Roebuck gives the longer ball for Jeff Hardy. Oh, and Ellis just couldn't get it away, but Ray knocks it back, and that's all right. So French it is who hoists a high one. It comes back to Castleford and to Fletcher. Here's a great chance for Plange. Out on that left touchline, David Plange can't get it. Yes, he can get it back inside. Still there here. If he touches down, it's got to be a score, but he's held up on his back. Couldn't get closer than that. Scrums in the first half went 5-3 to Sheffield. Against the head, just Castleford taking 1. Penalties conceded 3 by Cass and 4 by the Eagles. And the errors in play, 10 by Sheffield to 6 by Castleford. Price hauled round. Anthony Farrell Good acquisition from Huddersfield last season. And Powell, don't think he saw a gap through the middle. Aston always jinking right and left, and once more it's a fine tackle by Anderson. Aston, that might go right out. Not one of his better kicks. And Castleford are going to make another substitution. And Steadman, who got a knock in the first half, I think is the player to be relieved. He doesn't know it yet. And John Joyner coming on. And Steadman now does reluctantly go. I think it's an ankle injury. Crooks again, he'll try the little grubber kick through. And it is, in fact, Mumby for Sheffield now. And they might switch it over to the right, where if they give Nelson a run, he can have a right old canter, but he slipped, and then he ran into his own man. Everything happened here. Still Nelson goes. He is good entertainment. You likened him to Henderson Gill recently, David?
I certainly did, and the thing is this, that the Sheffield defence has been under tremendous pressure, but they've kept up to the task remarkably well, and to be able to counter-attack like they are doing now says much for their confidence.
And they fling this ball around, they really do. Which is what fans like to see. It is an ankle injury that Graham Steadman has. 5 minutes of the second half gone. Grimoldby on the last tackle. I look for oh, it's Saston who spins it back, and Powell keeps it coming, and they're not afraid to run it on the last tackle, are they? And that's excellent work once more. The kick might just go dead for Mandy Young, but they're not one of these sides who are predictable at all.
Well, they're not. They keep in Cass guessing all the time. I mean, to come back after that stretch they had in defence, really hanging on, holding Castleford out, to come back and play that type of football just goes to show what sort of commitment is still in this side. Just look at this now again. It wasn't just to be kicked there. Daryl Powell then straightens up and comes in, but offloads the ball here to Andrew Young. And Young on his chip ahead, he was knocked down at the same time by French. Not a foul, I may add, but the ball goes dead.
One spectator who'll be very happy today, Lance Corporal Nigel Blythe of the Royal Engineers, who has been serving out in the Gulf, and he's picked up some injuries there. In fact, he's got a broken leg and a broken jaw as well. But the first thing he did on returning to the old country was to come back to his favourite port of call, and that is Wheldon Road as a Cass fan. Crooks. Oh, he's done tremendously well, and he's got Fletcher. Well, he had Fletcher alongside him, and he's for a big man, he does really well to go as far as that. He seemed to have about 6 Sheffield men around him, but he continued to pelt on towards the Sheffield line. Oh, it's not a good ball though, although Plangers still managed to hold on. Excellent work from Lee Crooks, but can Castleford capitalise on it? Roebuck back inside England. They've got to find a way through somewhere. Grant Anderson, the latest to look. Sheffield have got Cook out of the action for the moment. They might just catch them unawares here, Castleford. John Joyner now reverses it for Sampson. Surely there's going to be a score. Along the line, it's got to come. Simply has to be a try. Paul Fletcher goes for the line, and Paul Fletcher scores for Castleford. Yes, he says, he thumps the air with joy. Paul Fletcher, only his second try of the season, and he comes at an excellent time for Cass.
Well, it all started from Crooks' run. Just look at the way he pushes Waddell aside. Grimoldby couldn't hold him, and Crooks starts straightening up. Now even Farrell comes after him, but can't quite get to him. His strength takes him through the last line of defence. It's here that he's held, and where it all starts from. From that, the ball is kept alive. A super pass by Roebuck. Joyner now looking for the way through, but really you've got to look now for the backing up and the ability to release the ball in the tackle, which every Castleford player plays his part in. Out it goes, and look, Fletcher comes. The defence is racing across. They're trying to knock into the corner. Fletcher sees that they are hell-bent for doing it and crosses.
And the man who started it looks to finish it. It's a good attempt. And 2 more points from the boot of Lee Crooks. So he did round it off in style, and Castleford are back in front at 12-8. Castleford now make a change. Sean Irwin for Neil Roebuck. Keith England, oh, and he's done tremendously well again here. Sampson up on his left, Beardmore on his right, and again the Sheffield defence held. I think if he'd given it to Sampson on his left, they might not have stopped the big prop. French, Sheffield's defence comes, and Crooks tries to go all the way himself. This is Irwin. Still Anderson looking now. Here's Jeff Hardy, a little chip through, and Hardy's going to score. Excellent try from Jeff Hardy. He's been determined to get one against his old club all day, and he snaps that one up with some relish.
Well, they've got to score points because the pressure has been intense, but they haven't been able to do that with any real break. But it's Crooks again here who draws the men in and delivers a perfect pass. It's the pass here that goes awry, but really it's all about what can we do with it. A flip over the top to Jeff Hardy. The sensible thing was chip it ahead. He got round the opposition without any difficulty.
The concentration factor is high, unfortunately. I think he nearly took Kevin Beardmore's fingers, and he didn't make a very good contact with the ball. 16-8, Castleford lead.
Well, they've really had to get in around the back of this defence, and they couldn't get through by the orthodox way, so he decided to chip ahead, did Hardy. That seemed the way forward. It was. He scored.
Aston's ball, oh, Powell, a superb take and a good pass as well. It was Waddell at his shoulder. It really was wonderfully well taken by Darryl Powell, and an offside verdict, but Sheffield will run it, I fancy now. Don't think they'll take a kick at goal, will they? Yes, Darryl Powell says kick for goal.
Well, I think that's probably a wise thing to do, because they need 2 scores. And they really have given this Castleford side something to think about, because Cass have really got in with the points.
Mark Aston looks to bring Sheffield into double figures with the kick. And that looks plumb through the middle. Ball sails out of the ground, and it's 16 points to 10 now. So Sheffield are right in it. Always comforting for Malcolm Reilly to know he's got Keith England to call on for Great Britain. Crooks. Well, that one didn't work out. 6 more tackles though, it touched a Sheffield player. And Castleford will really look to finish Sheffield off now. Ellis, who we just taken by the ankle. Oh, it still wasn't taken. Well, that's remarkable that Ellis has gone so far. What a fine piece of work by St John Ellis. And John Ray scores the try. But St John Ellis there showed remarkable tenacity and strength in creating it. Ray's second of the afternoon, but 90% of it was down to Ellis.
Well, what can you say about this? I think we should just watch and see exactly what he does do. He stands people about, comes back inside, twists out of one, runs, and still has time to deliver the perfect scoring pass.
Certainly a better attempt than his last one, and that sails through the middle. Spot on Lee Crooks, and spot on Castleford at 22-10. The other substitute for Sheffield Eagles today is young Dean Johnson, and he gets his chance to come on in place of Nick Grimoldby. Sampson. Really energetic display from the front row forward, Dean Sampson. It's Cass's chance for a 5th try. Keith England. Back it comes, they're flipping it around. Here goes St John Ellis now. Coming off one foot and then the other. French. Crooks. Oh, slipped it away. What a wonderful pass. Jeff Hardy's in. His second. Lee Crooks, again the creator of that try. Jeff Hardy simply took it in his hands and flopped over Sheffield's line. And Castleford are home and dry.
Well, this is a feature of their play, but just look at this pass now off Lee Crooks. He comes in, it's his strength again, superbly underarm pass to the backing up, and over he goes Hardy near the post.
So the man from Illawarra gets a couple of tries against his old club. So Lee Crooks has an excellent opportunity here to put his 4th goal of the day against his name. It's exactly what he does, and at 28 points to 10, Castleford have won the match.
Feature of their play has been Lee Crooks' ability to offload the ball at the right time. He comes in, takes the defence with him, slips it around the outside, good backing up, and that puts him in for a try under the post.
And Young, who got the one Sheffield try, drives forward. It's the last action of the game and the last action of the season for Sheffield Eagles. Many people will wish them well and hope that they can come straight back to Division 1 next season. For Castleford now, they go forward to the Premierships in good heart after this 28 points to 10 victory over Sheffield. It's a double for them. They preserve their record of never having lost to Sheffield, and there are the try scorers. There were 2 for John Ray and 2 for Jeff Hardy, with 1 for Paul Fletcher in between, and 4 goals from Lee Crooks. For Sheffield, just an Andy Young try.
Players like that, you know. I feel with a lot of